Good evening, everyone. I'm Natalie Milian-Orbis, your Vice Mayor, and I'd like to welcome you to the first commission meeting of the year. So Happy New Year to everybody, and welcome to our commission meeting tonight. And with that, I'll call this meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. I'd like to call our chaplain, Evelio Vilches, up for the invocation, please. And if everyone can please rise for the invocation.
Good evening. Before I begin, I just wanted to take a brief moment because last time I was here, I missed an opportunity. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to the mayor, the vice mayor, and the commissioners for the warm welcome and introduction. Also to thank Chief Delgado and Major Valencia for the opportunity to serve the West Miami Police Department and the community. So I look forward to how we will serve together. Please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this amazing new year that we could come together as a community. Thank you for the opportunity to serve and represent West Miami. Thank you so much for your presence and for your care over our lives. We ask that you would guide us now. Give us wisdom, give us compassion, give us care in our words, in our attitudes, in our decisions. Lord, keep everyone in our community safe. Lord, be with all officers and first responders and those who serve in our community. But above all else, Lord, we need your grace. Lord, guide us not just for tonight, but for every single day. I pray all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Thank you so much. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk?
Yes, item 3, roll call. Mayor Diaz-Padrón is on his way. Vice Mayor Natalie Milian-Orbis.
Present.
Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Here.
Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Luciana Suarez is excused. You have quorum.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for November 16, 2024, regular commission meeting.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion. Second.
Do we need a roll call? No, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 5, public comments. And for public comments, Madam Vice Mayor, we have Blanca Valverde.
Okay. At this time, we welcome
Please
you.
approach the podium.
Yes.
Sí.
Ahí vamos. Sí, creo que sí, sí. Ahora sí. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Esta comisión es de West Miami, en nombre del pueblo de West Miami y especialmente las personas que asistimos al City Hall, que todos nos sentimos muy contentos de la oportunidad que hemos tenido de ser atendidos en todo ahí. El personal, el staff de nuestra City Hall son muy humanos, muy conscientes, nos están atendiendo con un cariño, como una familia, y por supuesto también la comida nos ha mejorado por el city manager y el alcalde y vicealcalde. La comida la sentimos más sabrosa y comemos bien. Entonces, en agradecimiento a eso, hicimos nosotros un humilde pero reconocimiento a nombre de todo el personal de acá y de los comisionados. Y debemos de reconocer que los comisionados también nos han ayudado a rebajar el agua y a rebajar $70 de la basura. Y eso la verdad que nos llegó bien porque los sueldos que tenemos como jubilados a veces son tan pocos, a veces un poquito más, pero de todas maneras la vida está dura y tenemos que atender todas las necesidades de un hogar. Entonces, muchísimas gracias, siga compañera, y yo voy repartiendo los certificados que hice manualmente para cada uno de la alcaldía y de los comisionados y a la vez de nuestros staff del City Hall. ¿Okay?
Thank you.
Lo primero, lo otro primero.
Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We can go down.
Para el alcalde, Kenia. Vamos a leerle uno. Vamos a leerle también el de ¿verdad? Para que lo escuchen para todos. Certificado de reconocimiento otorgado a alcaldes, vicealcaldes, city manager, comisionados. Y nos acordamos y firmamos para su entrega y esfuerzo por lograr bajar los precios del agua y basura. Firmamos y acordamos el 21 del mes de enero del 25. Es lo que dice lo de ellos. El de nosotros para ellos, a decir así, certificado otorgado de reconocimiento a directora Kenia Candelaria. Varela, que no pudo estar acá porque atiende a su mamá que está enfermita. Marieli Pérez, que es nuestra nueva una excelente trabajadora, entrega con humanidad y con amor su trabajo. Y tenemos a Miriam Domínguez, que es también la señora que sirve la comida. Y quiero decir una cosa, que mientras tanto se sale de la oficina y reparte la comida a todos los compañeros que están y a todos los amiguitos del comedor. Así es que no solamente trabajan ahí en la oficina, sino que también salen al comedor. Tenemos también a Rodolfo López, que está de vacaciones. Entonces lo entregaremos después. Gracias.
Con todos, con todos.
Te va a poner música.
Yes. Blanca Valdez. I got it here.
Thank you so much for the record, because they spoke in Spanish. I just wanted to recap. Thank you, Miss Blanca Valverde. They're participants from our West Miami Senior Center, and they wanted to thank us for the quality of the activities and the food at the Senior Center, and also of the wonderful staff that we have, and also thank us on the reduction on their bills, the senior discount that we had issued recently. So it's very well received. And thank you so much. Muchas gracias, señora. Se lo agradecemos mucho. Gracias. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
Yes, item 6, report of the city manager.
I don't even know how to pass that other than say thank you so much for doing that. That really touched my heart. That's probably one of the nicest things that's been done for me as a manager in a long time.
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm getting a lot of messages that the live stream audio is not on. Okay. So do we need to wait until that's fixed?
Can you find out how long it's going to take?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor, if you can have a few minutes just to...
Yeah, we'll take a brief intermission till we get that technical issue fixed.
I want to say something. This is, in the 20-something years that I've been sitting here as a commissioner, this is the best possible thing that I've ever received. You know, you get things sometimes that just don't mean a whole lot, but you know, there's so many people that took their time to sign this and all the beautiful things that you said. The American Indians have a saying that says that when they speak, the truth is that they say that there's a lot of iron in the words, and a paper cannot hold the iron. The iron's got to come from the heart. But I see that there's a lot of iron here on this thing. So I thank you. very heartfelt. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, if I may, now that I've gotten my my emotions a little bit under check, I also want to thank the staff. I think our new director and our new staff has done an amazing job. We have really modified and changed that place incredibly, from changing the food, from having a lot of field trips and activities for our seniors. We've modernized the place. We've added a lot of stuff. And I fully expect for this to continue to grow as we grow into our new chapter with the new multi-generational center that's coming in the summer.
Si me permite un minuto nada más. Sí, es verdad, esos paseos nos sirven a toda la gente. Hay gente que ha tenido la oportunidad de pasear en sus países o pasear acá, pero hay gente que no es cómodo para ellos salir cuando están acostumbrados o no les gusta, pero se van acostumbrando poco a poco y les va gustando salir a pasear. Y eso es una cosa de que la memoria se te alivia bastante, la depresión se te olvida un momento, todo es de diversión y distracción y salud mental sobre todo. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
They're indicating about 3 minutes.
Okay, we'll take a short break for 3 minutes until they fix the audio, because the broadcast is not, has no audio right now.
Mayor, there's one more senior that wanted to say a couple of words.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. We're
Bueno, discúlpeme si estoy un poco fuera de lugar, pero no quería irme, independientemente de todo lo bueno que se ha dicho del centro comunitario, de su dirección, del mismo alcalde y los comisionados que nos visitan. Yo quería decir que de eso todo lo bueno, hay veces que todos no podemos disfrutar, porque lamentablemente tenemos un transporte demasiado pequeño, que nada más lleva 12 capacidades, y cada día se incrementan más los que quieren participar de esas excursiones, esos paseos. Y en ese ómnibus, inclusive a la hora de irnos hacia la casa, a veces tenemos que esperar un segundo viaje porque no cabemos. Y eso es lo que quería plantear, que nos tuvieran en cuenta, por favor, para un transporte mayor. Eso era todo.
Su nombre, por favor, señor.
Dora Livera, del Centro Comunitario.
Gracias.
Thank you. Mr. Manager, I know we've had these discussions.
We are working with it. We have the second bus that's about ready to go, and we will be assigning it to the community center, so that will be an issue that will be resolved shortly.
Beautiful. Thank you. Traduzo. Go.
Nosotros estamos trabajando en una segunda guagua que ya la tenemos ya, que se lo vamos a asignar al centro comunitario de ustedes, para que ustedes lo puedan usarlo y tener un poquitico más de espacio y se puede más capacidad.
Alrighty. Where did we leave off in the agenda?
We were at the city manager's report.
Yes.
Do you mind if we're, since the live stream wasn't working, I wanted to share what the
Absolutely.
seniors had brought us. So we had a presentation by the seniors who participate in the City of West Miami Senior Center, and they brought us all these beautiful personalized certificates and thanking us for enhanced services and meals, and also thanking us for the recent break on the fees, the $70 reductions that we were able to provide to our seniors. So I just wanted to share that for the record because our stream wasn't producing sound before, but we want to thank them so much. Le agradecemos mucho este detalle muy especial para todos nosotros y le damos las gracias porque el audio no estaba transmitiendo antes. So quería decirle a todo el mundo la presentación que los hicieron. Muchas gracias otra vez. Thank you, Mayor.
Let's get, thank you for that. Let's get back to the order of the agenda. Where do we leave off?
Back to the order of the agenda, next item would be item 7, report of the city attorney. Or we're still on the report of the city manager?
City manager, I haven't done it.
Yes, okay.
She's trying to skip me, but that's okay. I'll try
we're
to
back
make
on
my
track. Let's go.
report quickly. I have a few things to address. It's been a while since we haven't met, and I want to bring you all up to speed. We are very, very close, and we have very good positive news on our negotiations with the PBA on the new contract. We have worked very, very hard to address a lot of concerns and issues that we had lingering from the former contract, and we expect to bring this to the commission by no later than the March meeting. During these negotiations and with some of the changes that have happened in the recent past with our new chief, morale has improved dramatically, and it has helped us to recruit and retain a substantial amount of officers. Number 2, on the multi-generational center, as you all know, we've reached top out, and we are now going to start on our second phase, which is the interior work. I'm pleased to report that we are ahead of schedule, and that I fully expect us to be finished sometime in the early summer. Art in public places, we have received our first art piece, and we're in the process of having it installed. I want to again thank the mayor, and I want to thank our sister city of Hialeah for donating the art piece. It's interesting to note that the artist is a West Miami resident, and we will have him there at the unveiling. From the finance department, our expenditures for the first quarter are below the projected expenditures levels, even after we have paid all our debt for the full year early. We wanted to get all our debt obligations paid off, and we have done that. That includes the EPA loan, the CNB loan, and total debt that we have paid for the year is over $200,000. We are in the process of converting our billing system to a new modern software that has not come without hiccups. We have them, we still have them. Specifically, the biggest issue is that the old software, we did not have proprietary, an agreement with them, so all the information we had to buy from them, which is an unexpected twist. To date, we have gone through and are changing out all the water meters. We have changed out more than 450 water meters. We assembled a group of eight employees to do this, and we are diligently knocking them out to the tune of 7 or 8 a day. As you all know, the elevator wasn't working for some time, but it's up and running again. We have it fixed, but we now know what the issue is. The issue was that elevator pit, whenever it was installed many, many decades ago, did not have a sump pump, and there was water that was getting into the elevator pit, and that was short-circuiting a lot of the electrical work. We will come back after we ascertain how much it'll cost to put in a sump pump. Again, I want to thank our director, Kenya Candelario, for her efforts. Our attendance at the community center has increased by over 20% from last year, and that's attributed to everything that she has done in terms of the activities and the field trips and the improved quality of food. We had a town hall last Wednesday. It was the first one of the year. We wanted to thank all of those that attended it, and based off of that, there's some legislation ahead later on tonight that we'll be talking about it. We are expecting to have another town hall next month, which will be a police-related town hall, and we would like to see if the date of February 12th works for the commission, but we can have that conversation at a later date. I did have some pictures, I don't know if they're up. You know, we're gonna skip the pictures, but I'll just say this. We have increased a new segment to our police department. Our NRO officers, who are vital liaisons between the residents and us, are now walking all the commercial businesses walking the beat on all the commercial businesses to ensure that they have our support, and this is a good deterrent along the business community for our officers. Congratulations again to the Passport Agency on getting a nearly perfect score from the federal oversight inspection that was done at our facilities. They basically said this is unheard of. It's never really been seen before. And in fact, we're now getting some other agencies coming to look at how we are operating and doing things. In my manager's report, you will see that there's a little property tax notice. I'm going to be scheduling a meeting with the tax appraiser's office in the near future. They're indicating that there will be a fee that's implemented in all the municipalities starting after this year to cover their costs, I would imagine, and that is something that we need to keep an eye on as we start working through our budgeting for next year. The second annual State of the City is February 6th. It will begin at 6:30 at the Renaissance Banquet Hall. We invite all residents to attend to hear about our vision, our accomplishments, and to enjoy a evening of vital information for all our residents. Well, as an added bonus, we will also be holding a raffle that day on donated items that we have, and we'll discuss that as we get a little bit further on. With that, I'm going to conclude my manager's report, and I'm here to answer any and all questions that you may have.
Okay, any questions for the manager on his report? Saying none, next item, please. Thank you.
Yes, item 7, report of the city attorney.
There are no significant legal issues. Legal reports are good when they're short, when there's no legal
That
problems.
is very true. That is very true. Next item, please.
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My only report really is on the water projects. So we've been progressing pretty quickly on the water projects. We just finished up 63rd Avenue, so I'm sure you all have seen some of the crews out there. We're flushing the line tonight, and then they're mobilizing over to 12th Street. So we'll be starting on 12th and 57th. We've already notified the residents. We'll be progressing from 57th all the way to 65th Avenue. So they'll be working on 12th Street for quite a while, probably for the next 3 or 4 months. You know, so far they've done a pretty good job of maintaining cleanliness out there. We'll have them restore 63rd, the trenches, so that there's not dust. That'll be done hopefully within the next couple weeks. And then once everything's done, we'll mill and resurface the road. Other than that, there's an item on the agenda that I'll speak to at that time. And I think that's all for my report now. Any questions?
One question, one comment. One is not really directed towards you. Mr. Manager, let's make sure that whatever notices we want to put out to 12th Street hazard will be put out on the water project. Number 2, question. There's a project that I haven't heard much about in a while, which is on 63rd and 16th,
Okay.
the mini circle. Is there any updates on that or anything going on with that?
I have to talk to the manager. We are ready to move forward with design. That's the next step, is to get a final design complete.
Okay,
but
if you guys can update me
studies-
when that
The
happens.
studies were approved already by the county, so we're ready for that step.
Okay, yeah, update me when that comes in. Does anybody else have any questions for the engineer? Any projects?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yep.
The crosswalks down 62nd,
That,
a few of them.
that study is back into the county. We don't have a final approval yet. I'll follow up with our traffic consultant, make sure that that gets completed.
Anybody else for the engineer? I think it was your birthday recently.
It was my
Happy
birthday.
birthday. I think it was during the holidays, so.
Thanks.
So we'll let you off the hook.
All right.
Well, you'll be back soon, but.
I'll be back.
Next item, please.
Yes, next item is item 9, committee reports.
For anybody for committee reports? Go ahead.
So the Parks and Rec Board met a while back, and we were discussing the gym equipment at Cooper. Jenny, I'm not going to bring you up now, but if you can give us an update later when you come up. Thank you.
Anybody else for committee reports?
Not really a report,
Go
but I have some appointments that we're ready to make on the other committees that we created recently, and just wanted to say if we can have maybe an established date or time for these meetings so that we can tell the residents that are interested,
Is that something
what
that
it's
we
gonna
can
look
set
like.
right now? I mean, do we have an idea of what that would look like, or does that take more planning? Looking at the clerk, look at the manager.
No, Mayor, myself and the clerk looked at it, and we can basically say that we'll be meeting on Tuesday, right? It's
So
on-
Tuesdays?
On Tuesdays at 6:30, it's a tentative date. Obviously, these committees, they can change that or
Sure.
modify it once they meet, but we're looking at having the meeting on what, Tuesdays?
The last Tuesday of the month. Okay,
Wait, there's two committees, so let's take one at a time.
Yes, yes, Mr. Mayor, with you, you have a report by my office in regards to the board's membership report. To start with the Art Advisory Board, 5 members are needed, and already we have one, Rolando Llanes, appointed by Commissioner Chavez via email at the last meeting of November 20th, which was deferred, so we are reaffirmed his appointment today. We need 4 more members for the Art Advisory Board. If you would like, I would report on the rest of the
Yeah,
boards.
no,
and
so let me stop you there. So the vice mayor is saying, and I have the same, not issue, but the same thing going on. It's hard to make an appointment to a board without knowing when the board is going to meet, because people have different obligations. So what the vice mayor was trying to get at is, when will the meetings be held so that we can advise the potential members?
We're planning on having the meetings on Tuesdays. We're planning on having the Art and Public Places meet every other month, along with the other group is the Youth
The
Board.
Youth Board,
And we're planning on having them meet on,
Well, I think the Youth Commission, when we have the members, sorry to interrupt, we need to discuss because they're young kids and they need
So,
transportation and stuff.
On
So,
that one, you want to do members first?
yeah, I was talking about the branding board.
Okay.
We
So,
have the branding.
The
and
branding board.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take one at a time. Let's take one at a time. So the art board.
the Art Board, we're recommending a meeting every other month, the
Okay.
3rd Tuesday of the month
Okay.
at 6:30 PM.
Beautiful. Everyone got that? So I know Commissioner Chavez, you already made an appointment.
Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
I have a question on the Art Advisory Board.
Yep.
They have to be residents of the city of West Miami, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks.
I mean, if you have, let me rephrase that. If you have somebody who would be especially good for the city and is willing to serve, I don't think this board would mind taking up a waiver on that, because we want to get people who know what they're talking about and who want to give to the city and their expertise. So if you have somebody who, if you think would be excellent on the board, I don't think that your colleagues here would have a problem doing a waiver.
Okay, I might have somebody, but they're not a resident,
Okay.
so
So-
I'll ask him, see if he wants to serve.
So that's the art board. Branding board. Commissioner Chavez, this was your sponsored item. Vice Mayor, what was your question on this board?
I was asking the same thing. Do we
Same
have a
thing.
date and time? And I have an appointment for that board.
Okay.
If we want to take it now or later in the meeting.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'll defer to the manager on this one. I guess we're trying to figure out, the branding board kind of had a little bit to do with art as well, so I guess we can discuss here amongst us if we want to blend those 2 boards together. This was an idea I brought forth, but I'm not chairing any board here. This is just what's best for the city. Are we going to have enough people to fill both of these boards, and are they filling the similar need?
Let me ask you, because I haven't looked at the resolution a little bit. Does the branding board have a sunset? Is it more of a task force, or is it a standing board? Do we remember? I know it wasn't on this agenda, so.
I unfortunately, Mayor, would have to get back to you. I don't know.
Okay.
But if it's blended, that's something that would have to be done by an action of the commission. If it's not blended, it would meet every other month as well on Tuesday at 6:30.
Yeah, so what Commissioner Chavez is getting at is potentially moving the branding board into the art advisory board and just letting it, come out of there.
And then let the art advisory board decide what direction the city wants to go in with branding as well. It's all one and the same to me. At least that's when I brought it forward. That was the idea. The art advisory board, obviously, other cities have a different idea.
What I would suggest, Commissioner, actually, is I know this one was, the art advisory board is an ordinance, the branding board is a resolution. I think maybe we take an opportunity to amend it and make it a task force, right, that has a sunset. Because is your idea that it's ongoing, or is that it creates some sort of report or something like that on the branding? Is it more of a, one-time thing, or is it an ongoing thing?
So when I spoke with the manager about it, it was basically an identity where if somebody drives into our city, that they know they're in our city, whether it be landscaping, whether it be artwork, whether it be signage, anything of that nature would have fallen under that board.
Yeah, because I get what you're going. I'm wondering who everyone's appointed to the art advisory board, and I know mine is a very art-driven person, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone else. And I'm just wondering if we just put a bunch of artists on there and then tell them to brand the city.
Right. Yeah, because that branding board is supposed to be architects, engineers, et cetera. So.
I agree with the sentiments that we should keep it separate. Because they're focused on a certain thing, and of course it's your ordinance, so you do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, well, why don't we do this? I'm trying to Vice Mayor. Let's keep it as a separate board, if it's okay with you, and then we'll decide whether we want to sunset the board, whether it's something that you decide at that point whether you think it's something that that they put it together, some sort of package, that they recommend to the board, or if it's something ongoing once we have the membership and it's rolling. I think we kind of take it by ear on that one, if it's okay with you.
It's perfectly
because it's a
fine.
resolution, so we don't have to. I mean, we can play with that a lot easier.
Right. The intent is to have a board set up where anything that comes forth, we can discuss it, or they can discuss it and bring ideas to us to make sure that as our city continues to grow, that it goes in a direction that's gonna keep our identity.
Vice Mayor, you had an appointment to the board?
I have an appointment for the branding board. So I'd like to appoint Christina Verona to the branding board. And I don't know if we take any more appointments for the Parks and Rec board, but I have someone who wants to serve on that board. We can take that up later.
I know there's a vacancy that was created when Alex went on planning and zoning.
Yes, we do have a vacancy. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, may I, for the record, the Art Advisory Board was established by ordinance 2024-12, but the branding board was just an initiative by Commissioner Chavez that was blessed by the commission, no resolution.
Oh, no resolution, perfect,
Yeah.
okay. Even easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can actually make these appointments and kind of see how you want to formulate that when we get rolling on that. Let's keep the ball moving here, because I don't want to get caught up on all these boards. The Youth Commission Board, I think the Vice Mayor already said she intends for us to appoint the members and then do the schedule after, because of the membership they are. Do you have an appointment for that board? Did you already make one?
Not yet.
Are you planning on making one tonight, or?
No, I have an
Okay.
appointment for the Parks and Rec board.
Okay.
I can make that later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to, we're gonna send out some communications soon to see if we get some youth that is interested in that. And I think it's better if we wait, because
Sure.
to see if they're better off meeting during the day or in the evening, just because they're, young.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they have to go to school.
Okay, go ahead.
Question, is there age, what's the age limit?
I think
or
the resolution had some.
I don't have the ordinance with me, but I think it was between sophomores and seniors, so anywhere between 16 and 18 or 19 years old.
Call like a high school.
High school
Yeah,
age,
high school level.
but on the older side of high school, yeah. And there's GPA requirements and all that, but I can send you that later on, or I'll have the clerk send it over to you.
Okay. Anyone else for committee reports? Hearing none, next item.
Next item is item 10, unfinished business, and
back to
item 10A is appointment of members to fill vacancies on the Code Enforcement Board.
We
And
need members. Who do we have?
Yes, on that, Commissioner Blanes had proffered the name of Steven Rojas for the board.
Okay.
Yes, and also Gabriel Garcia it was appointed by Commissioner Chavez also, so we need 2 more members.
Well, we have I see, sorry, I see something on page in front of me with 3 highlighted names.
Yes, those are the ones that expired on 2024, Lisa Coelho, Jonathan Manoy, and Jerry Diaz. So we have 2 appointments, so we still need 2.
Where's the, oh, the vacant, I see.
Yes.
So we need 1 and, well, there are 2 alternates, right?
Usually it's a 7-member, usually it's 1 alternate, but I don't know.
Do you know if these 3 folks want to be reappointed? Or did they express that they didn't want to be reappointed? They don't?
I don't know.
Can we find out if they want to continue serving?
Sure, I can contact them and ask them.
All right, so, but we have a board now that has quorum going, okay,
Yes.
so we can deal with this.
Yes.
All in favor of the appointments, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Yes, let's go to the new business agenda items. Item 11, item A, first reading, an ordinance of the Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, relating to parking on swales, amending ordinance 2024-16 to additionally prohibit parking on vehicles on swales on Southwest 16th Street between 60th Avenue and Southwest 62nd Avenue, other than by residents and guests of such residents displaying parking identification permits in their vehicles, providing for enforcement, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date. This is the first reading.
This is a first reading. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
May
Yes.
I?
Go ahead.
I wanted to make sure that, so first of all, I
Well,
wanted, can I?
the item passed, you can, yeah.
Yeah,
make
can I
comments. Go
speak on
ahead.
it?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, first of all, we had a town hall meeting on this last Wednesday, and I'd like to thank all the residents who came out to this town hall meeting. I know that this has been an issue. The parking on the swales from Sylvania Heights has been an issue that's been afflicting the community for a while. And I want to thank all the residents because they've put a lot of effort into finding a solution and helping us and staff find a solution to this. We did have just an amendment that we needed to add an extension of some intersections, and I'll turn it over to the manager just to make sure that everything is included in there as per that meeting.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Manager, this first reading is the amendment, right?
This is the amendment, and I have a slide up that shows the area in red was the original ordinance that blocked off certain streets. The area in blue is what's in front of you tonight, that we are extending it down 16th Street all the way to 62nd Avenue. I would like to be able to proffer for the second reading to add the street in yellow. The police department has indicated that people are now starting to park on 16th Terrace, and I think we should be proactive and extend the ban to include that street as well, just to get in front of it. Obviously, this is the first phase of this. This is hopefully will resolve a lot of the issues that we have with the overflow parking for the school there.
Okay.
So with this change, we're addressing the concerns that were addressed at that meeting, correct?
Vice Mayor, yes, we are. The concerns of that meeting was to extend it down 16th Street all the way to 62nd.
Okay.
And that is exactly what's in front of you tonight. And on second reading, I will proffer the amendment to add
Okay.
16th Terrace if it's the will of the commission to add it on there. But it is starting to become an issue as well.
Okay, yeah, because I know that the residents that attended that town hall were actually the ones who initiated the discussions, and we wanted to make sure that their streets were included in the residential parking zone. Thank you. I'm happy to move the item with the inclusion of 16 Terrace.
That's gonna, if you can move it on second reading with
Yes.
inclusion? So this is first reading still, so next.
Happy to
next-
include the 16 Terrace edition.
Onto
Onto the second reading,
Okay,
yes.
we'll take it at that point. Next item, please.
Yes, the second reading will be advertised for February 5th, 2025. Item 11B, first reading, an ordinance of the Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida relating to fence regulations in the land use ordinances of the city, amending ordinance 2022-02, providing that fences on property lines running parallel and contiguous to any street, whether on the front, side, or rear of the property shall not be made of chain link or wood material, providing for ordinances in conflict, codification, severability, and an effective date.
This is a first reading.
Motion.
Yes.
We have a
Second.
motion, we have a second, all in favor, sorry, call the roll.
I
Yes,
have some
Commissioner.
questions.
Second,
questions
who
on
who made
this
the
item?
second, Mr. Mayor?
It's a first reading, so can you hold it to the second reading?
Well, it might cause changes in the item.
That's fine, we can take it to the second reading. The first reading, it's not really for discussion on the items. Continue the vote, I'm sorry.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis,
No.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes,
3-0, item passes.
thank you. Next item.
Item C. 3-1, I apologize. Item C, a resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami designating as a city park in the city strip of land between Southwest 24th Street and Southwest 22nd Street, which now has a sidewalk running north-south along theoretical Southwest 65th Avenue to be known as Paseo at West Miami, directing the city manager to upgrade the park within the existing city budget and providing for an effective date.
Does anyone have questions on this item? I think this is gonna turn out very nice, actually.
No question, just keep up the great work, finding.
Well, I think we wanna explain it here, so let's bring, who wants to come up? Engineer?
City engineer will come up and address what we're doing here.
City engineer, part-time architect. Okay, so this is the proposed Paseo Linear Park Art Walk. Got a few names going, but I guess Paseo is the one that we're moving forward with. So I think most of you know this space. It's a really underutilized piece of property that we have. You know, essentially it's an alley today with you know, trees and grass and shrubbery. So the manager and I went out there a few weeks ago and really just try to look if there's some opportunities to create a linear park here. And I believe there is. So we went ahead and prepared a concept, just maximizing that space with amenities. So we have kind of an entrance plaza just coming off of Coral Wave down there, where we have plenty of space and opportunity there to do you know, various things, from just kind of a sitting open space to presenting artwork. And then what's there today is really just a sidewalk along the west side, so we'll eliminate the existing sidewalk and bring a meandering, more natural path through the space. Of course, respecting and trying to maintain all the existing trees that are out there, and then just augmenting that with new, more mature trees and provide more canopy and coverage. There'll be opportunities for amenities, benches and trash receptacles and that sort of thing. And also spaces designated where we can provide spaces for artworks to be presented and stored there. There'll be bollards on, you know, both ends in order to protect from traffic. So we'll have bollards placed at the ends, and then we'll also be enhancing the crosswalks across 22nd and 23rd. On 23rd right now we're looking at doing a raised crosswalk. And then on 22nd, augmenting the existing traffic calming that we have there. We have some little channelization devices there, so we'll enhance the crosswalk that goes across there as well. So that's kind of it. Any questions?
Any questions now for the engineer? Manager? Go ahead.
Did you say there were gonna be some sitting?
Yeah, we'll have little cutouts for benches off the paths.
I just have one issue. I know that this area there is adjacent to residences.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that none of the residents have issues. I don't know if we can do, if we can let them know what we're doing. That way they know they've been advised, and hopefully, you know, if there's someone that's against it, we can get them on board. Sometimes residents, you know, find out when it's being done, and then they can maybe get upset or might be against it. So if we can make an effort to let them know what we're doing.
Yeah, we have started doing that, Mr. Manager. I know we walked with some residents, right, in the area?
We've already started. In fact, I have a meeting with a resident. I think it's scheduled for tomorrow
Oh,
on
perfect.
this. So we have.
I didn't know.
We have started to do outreach.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, and at the end of the day, it does, you know, it will provide for kind of a safer path. Right now, it's just, you
Right,
know,
no, I'm sure that will enhance, you know, the look of the area, but, and then again, you know, some people have their own opinion and
No,
their own feelings.
yeah, I appreciate that. I walked this walk a few times with some of the more active residents in that area, and most of the time, the conversations have been around sort of like these AT&T boxes that are graffitied up, or
Yeah.
some other, you know, other thing that looks kind of, you know, not taken care of. So we're hoping that we can kind of beautify the area for the homes around that, and hopefully give it a, you know, increase the property value of the homes, you know, quite a bit for those areas that currently have kind of like a not untaken care, but it's just
Well,
kind
it's
of
an
a weird
alley.
sidewalk alley, yeah,
It's an alley.
between the houses. But I think that's appropriate, and we're starting to do that, and I think once everyone is made aware, I think everyone's gonna, you know.
The
very
reason I bring
excited
that
by
up is because it's gonna attract people to the area. Now, no one walks there, no one wants to go there, so once it's all fixed up and it's nice.
You'd be surprised. You'd be
now you're
surprised
gonna have
at
more
what
people wanting to
you'd
go
be
there.
surprised at pedestrian activity down there, on that, especially because of the apartment buildings that on 6th, 7th. There's a lot of activity, especially crossing that 23rd Street, which is why they were talking about the elevated traffic calmer. A lot of activity going through that area, pedestrians, already today. But anyways, we have a resolution in front of us.
I had another comment.
Go ahead.
If I may. It would be great if you can share with our arts and our branding committee the design of the benches or any other aesthetic pieces that
that'd be
we're
great.
adding to this walkway, so that they can have, you know, partake in the design and make sure that it's all aesthetically
So
pleasing.
there's a twofold thing there. There's potential of putting art in the paseo. So I would imagine that will go to the art advisory. And then, like you said, there's the look and feel of the whole thing, which is theoretically going to branding. So, yeah, theoretically there'll be two sets of eyes looking at different things on the project.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Motion.
We ready to read the resolution?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, do you have a motion? Yep.
Motion.
You have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Seeing none, next item.
Next item, item 11D, a resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the city manager to engage the services of a qualified company to assist with the development of an ordinance in accordance with section 24-15, 7B, 6, 1B of Miami-Dade County Code of Ordinances, providing for consistency with the county's recently adopted standards, addressing the regulation of impervious areas within the city to support sustainable land use and environmental practices, providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, this is, the county has given us an opportunity to opt out of them doing even more reviews of plans, specifically for impervious areas, which is, you know, drainage and the like. The reason why we have our own building and zoning department is to exactly do that for our residences. I think that this will cause a delay in some of the reviews, and this is something that we can do. We have to develop an ordinance that they will approve, and for that, we will be turning it over to our city engineer to adopt that, to write up that ordinance, get it approved, and then bring it back to the commission for approval.
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item, please.
Item 11E, a resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami approving a city lease to a commercial enterprise for the city-owned property located at 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue, providing for effective date. This is sponsored by administration.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, we had a conversation with one of our own residents, Adrian Lorenzo, who was looking for a property. We have that empty property there that it's underutilized. This will provide for a 3-year lease with the tenant for the property, and we fully expect that this will be a community benefit, as he is going to be converting that into his art gallery studio, and also create a little coffee shop and have events there. We believe this is a good benefit for the community. The lease is for 3 years, and it has an annual escalating amount, and there's an additional 2 one-year renewals after that. The tenant is responsible for all upgrades, and approvals must be obtained from us, specifically from the commission, for anything he wants to do there, inclusive of signs. Additionally, we also worked out that he will donate 1 art sculpture for the future paseo at West Miami. And obviously, that'll go through the art board, and 1 mural at a location of our choosing, plus provide some summer camp art classes for our kids at the rec center.
You have no idea how many people, myself included, have complained about the lack of cafes in the city. There's not a place in the city for unless you go to Latin America for a cafecito, but for the cafe style, we don't have it, and it's really lacking.
Oh,
So
no,
I'm very glad that he's deciding to take that on.
We'll have one on the west side now. I don't think we had any, so. And it would be a great place for, residents to walk to, or, they can take the, our public, transportation, car, freebie, so.
No, I know the family very well. I know many of us on the commission know the family very well. They're an all West Miami family.
Great.
So that's also great. Anything for the manager on this item? Have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Item passes. Next item, please.
Item 11F, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Motorola Solutions for communication equipment and services for the West Miami Police Department, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date, sponsored by administration.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, our police radios are reaching their end of their service life. They're no longer being serviced. The county and numerous other municipalities have switched to the new platform, which is Motorola. The terms of this agreement allow us to pursue granting opportunities and provide for 2 years of deferred payments before we have to begin payments. The total cost is $250,000 that can be paid monthly over the life of the contract, and it also can be obtained from equitable share from the police department. Our recommendation is for approval to bring us up to speed with new radios for the police department.
Motion?
We got a motion?
Second.
Oh, who wants it?
I'll take it.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Chavez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item, please.
Item 11G, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami establishing the vehicles that will be acquired for the city's police department based on the approved resolution 2024-75, signed on September 10th, 2024, sponsored by administration.
Yes, Mayor, again, it seems to be the police day today. We already have gotten approved from the commission before for us to be able to lease/buy our fleet through Enterprise. We are just coming back to let you know what we have opted on. We have come back and actually have been able to save some money because we've changed some of the cars around. We are planning on getting 6 Chevy 2025 Blazers and 4 Ford F-150s. The total departmental cost would be $9,000 monthly. Again, a portion of this can come from equitable share, but just so that you all understand what this means for us, it means a savings in gasoline because these cars are much more efficient than the ones we have right now. Also means a substantial saving on warranty and repairs. The warranty is bumper to bumper for 3 years. As a comparison, we've recently had 2 cars break down. One costed us $6,000 and the other one cost us $3,000. Our repairs now are more than what we'll be paying for monthly.
Motion?
We have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item, please.
Item H, presentation of City of West Miami's vulnerability assessment by Grants Director.
Thank you for the change in title. And my name is Jenny Hall. I'm the grant manager for the city of West Miami, as you all know. So this presentation is going to be made by Aptum Environmental, who completed a presentation for our vulnerability assessment study, which the city successfully secured funding from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Resilient Florida program and conducted this vulnerability assessment and to identify areas where infrastructure needed hardening or strengthening. In February 24, the city opened a solicitation to select a vendor, and it was awarded to Aptum Environmental and Infrastructure, LLC. And they have conducted a lot of studies and interviews with the city engineer. We've done public input meetings as well to fulfill the grant. And now all of that culminates into this final presentation that they're going to provide us with the report. They have a thorough, more detailed report, which we will use to seek funding for the projects that they outline for us. And there is more of a condensed one for the grant agency to fulfill our agreement. So we're going to have the presentation by Samantha, Dr. Samantha Dansky, sorry, Samantha, to tell everybody how it went.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. I am Dr. Samantha Danchuk with Aptum. We do have some slides tonight if you are open to it. So this evening's presentation is a summary of the vulnerability assessment that was completed to support this Resilient Florida funded grant. The big takeaway here is that now the city is eligible to apply for additional funding for pre-construction or construction of the projects that you need into the future. The vulnerability assessment was a requirement in order to get more funding from the Resilient Florida program, which offers at least about $100 million a year for municipalities to increase resilience. Thank you. So we are completing the study. We looked at hazards that may be affecting the city, rainfall, events that may be happening regularly, as well as extreme storms. So looking at Category 1, Category 5 hurricanes, in combination with storm surge and sea level rise. Although those two hazards aren't directly affecting the city of West Miami because you're further inland, they do have an effect on the drainage and the canals and the overall flood control system in the region. And so we look at all that. The report itself brings all of that data together for you and for your engineers to be able to easily design into the future, and provides an analysis of the sensitivity of all the assets that the city owns and what level of risk that they have. The state right now is offering more funding or higher scoring grant opportunities if you have higher risk assets. So we tried to consider that as we were ranking these assets. As mentioned, we did do 2 workshops with the public to hear from them some of their concerns or areas of interest where flooding may be occurring. There was absolutely, from the online survey, support for these types of projects to continue and improvements within the city to address drainage. Also, there was an interest in obviously addressing rainfall events, hazards that may occur, and making sure that the community is protected over time. So that is very useful information that you can also use as documentation for even your community rating system process and whatnot. So looking at this map, you can see that there are potential areas where flooding may occur from extreme events as well as these more frequent events. I think the important point from this slide does show that there are some assets within the city that may be vulnerable to a 100-year storm that may occur every 100 years. And so we've taken all that information and consolidated it in a way so that it can be easily applied and used in grant applications. Also, there are areas where some improvements can be made in road. Obviously, the concentration of where there are lower lying roads is in the southern area of the city. So all of this information is kind of documented and gives you an idea of the extent of exposure of the city itself. So there are several projects that have been highlighted in this report for you to consider for advancing, as well as mitigation strategies to try and reduce some of the impact to the community. So specifically looking around the school, there's an opportunity there to maybe even raise some of the sidewalks. It seems like some of the flooding as a result of how the swales are operating today, a lack of drainage in the streets. We also looked at each of the facilities that the city uses and whether or not they were above or below the base flood elevation for the 100-year storm, and noted that. And so those are the types of things that can be fixed. The city already had on its capital projects list trying to improve some of the aging infrastructure, like some of the pump stations and the lift stations. And so all of this information supports moving forward with trying to get funding to improve those systems. So as noted, we also looked at the schools that were where your youth goes, that's outside of the city, and whether or not they were resilient. They were. We did look at the routes, and so there were a couple, ways to get to the school and ways to walk to the school that there are flooding concerns, and so we've noted those in the report with ways to address that. And then, as I mentioned before, the pump stations and the lift stations and some of the community centers, as well as the parks, and what you could do in order to try and either increase the amount of drainage capacity at those parks or along those streets, and how you would do that. It sounds like your linear park is a great opportunity for that, right? You're adding in vegetation or ways to make sure that you have lots of permeable surfaces, and that's really what's noted in the report. So suggestions for this evening would be to take advantage of the grant opportunities that are available today through the Resilient Florida program, as well as the other hazard mitigation programs that are offered federally. They often do require a grant match. The good news is that the state is being very generous right now, and you can use projects that or costs that have been completed up to like 7 years prior as part of your cost match. So we talked about that a little bit tonight with your grant manager, of ways to be creative to try and get a better deal for your grants. The cycle will begin in July this year, so you're in good position to be ready for getting on this year's list. And then as you coordinate with the county, there are a few projects you may want to put into the local mitigation strategy, so that when funds do occur after a severe event, you would be right in line in order to get those mitigation. And within the report, we've listed all the other funding opportunities that could be pursued and try and make that easier for your staff. So with that, I'll take any questions and appreciate your attention.
Any questions on the report? You were very comprehensive, so
Okay.
I feel like there's not going to be a lot of questions. Anything? Go ahead. You wanna make a comment? You're moving to the mic, so.
No,
Gotta
it's
say
just
something
that
now.
we need we need to read into the resolution and adopt the
Oh, yeah.
study.
Thank you.
No, thank you, appreciate it. That was the presentation. Madam Clerk, can you read the resolution?
Yes, item 11I, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, relating to grants, specifically the 2024 Vulnerability Assessment Study, to provide a detailed exposure and sensitivity analysis to assess the city's susceptibility and risk to different flooding scenarios, accepting the final report with presentation, further authorizing the city manager to proceed with implementation of the report findings following identification and availability of appropriate funding sources, and providing for an effective date, sponsored by administration.
Motion.
You have a motion?
I can second it, but I have a question,
Oh, wait,
if that's
wait.
appropriate right now.
Ask the question for, yeah, ask the question.
Mr. Manager, it says that, it would allow you to proceed with any findings, right, within the report. If there's any financial impact, you would come back to us. If there's anything that we needed to take action on that
Yes, of
requires
cour-
a financial
Vice Mayor, of
decision.
course, everything would come through the commission,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second, correct? Right?
I'll second it. If it's not seconded, I'll
We have,
second.
who made the motion? We have a
He
motion.
made the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second now. Call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item J, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami relating to the use of green space for recreational programs, authorizing the city manager to execute the joint use agreement with the School Board of Miami-Dade County for the use of designated portions of Sylvania Heights Elementary School's campus, providing for an effective date, sponsored by administration.
We've been working on this one for a while, huh?
We have, sir, this is their draft JUA, which we want to approve so we can send it back to the school board. Then they can go through their process and get it approved, and then it'll come back in front of the commission again. So this is another step along a long path that we've been working on, Mayor, for months and months. But it's a positive one. I think this is very positive for the community. It's going to give us another valuable open space, green space for our children and our residents to use, specifically on weekends and when school's not in session. It also allows us to use their parking lot at night when we have events that we always have an issue with parking. What we worked into this one as well is that we would be able to use their playground and their basketball courts along with their open space.
Motion.
Wait, I just want to call out, I want to really thank our school member and the vice chairwoman of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Monica Colucci, because we've been working this for a long time, and I know she really helped us a lot on the school board side and getting this crafted. This is going to be like when I was a kid here, when you used to be able to use that Sylvania field. It's going to open up all those opportunities for whenever there's not a school day right now. So that's weekends, that's teacher holidays, that's spring break, that's summer. It's actually a lot of days when you put it together, and I think, and it also gives us the opportunity to bring third parties for recreational activities, right? So camps and things like that.
It does with the approval of the school board as well, though.
Correct. So it's, I think, and as part of this, I think we're also increasing security for the kids, cameras and things like that that will be, also helpful for school activities for the kids and all the residents of ours that go there. So I think this is a really good agreement. I know we had a motion, but I wanted to point that out.
I know that we've been working on this for a while, so I'm wanted to make the motion. So motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. All right, this time, does anyone want to pull, there's two items of consent. Does anyone want to pull any of them off for discussion? They're relatively administrative. Go ahead.
Not for consent, but before I forget, I don't know if you had a presentation for the Cooper Park before it gets to go to the order.
Well, let's just do the consent first. We won't go to the order. Anyone on consent? Can we move consent?
Motion.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any against? Hearing none, item passes. You wanted to bring up the grants director on Cooper Park?
Yeah, that's fine with you.
Absolutely.
Hello again, everyone. Just providing a quick update on a couple of the projects we have. We have Cooper Park exercise equipment. This is a map of where the equipment is going to be clustered. We had a couple of ideas going through, but we decided, based on the tree planting and the future widening of the pathway, which we will be going out to bid next month to get a contractor to widen the path, the walking path, that we're gonna keep the equipment in that area, and the green are some trees that are gonna go there to provide shade to the existing exercise area where we will be getting rubberized surface. So there's 7 training equipments that are gonna be put out there. They're going to start next couple of weeks. It should be done before the end of February. So we'll be able to utilize that, and the community will benefit from that with the additional trees. So it's gonna really make that like the little exercise area of the park to get everybody fit for the summer.
Awesome.
That's it. Thank you.
I have a question, Jenny. Are you replacing the rubberized, on all of the playground?
Not all the
portions?
playgrounds for this specific grant. It was only that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
But we are looking to
Please.
upgrade rubberize in
Yes.
the other
The mulch
areas
is
as well.
not the best for
Yes,
small
I know,
children. It's very
It's
dirty
very
and
dirty.
dangerous.
I agree. I have
yeah.
a 6-year-old, but why the mulch? But yes, we will.
Over on that, to the Vice Mayor's point, at the rec center, when we're doing the improvements that we're doing the playground, are we planning, that's already in the plans to
Once we get to phase two,
Right,
that
when we
will
move the,
be,
when we move the playground?
when we move the playground, it'll be rubberized.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
So there's only
And
one
we are,
other, sorry
I-
to interrupt you, there's only one other, at that point, just the one at Cooper, right? Because the one at Lorraine Park is that, that's not mulch, right?
it's also has to be replaced with rubberized as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's
So
a
it'll be,
separate,
it'll be Lorraine and it'll be the other one. I also, as an update also, Commissioner, Cooper Park, the widening of the path, we're gonna be putting that out for bids shortly.
Yeah.
So we're moving forward on both of those.
And what about the sand where the swing set
The
is?
sand one, that is a future one. It didn't get, it wasn't a part of this grant.
Okay.
So, but that will be coming later.
Those
Just
things are on
reporting.
our capital improvement projects, but
Yeah.
we're waiting, we're looking for funding instead of trying to get it from somewhere else.
As a suggestion, I'm not an expert in any of this, but I know that there's certain materials that are more environmentally friendly. So maybe
Yes.
we can look into, because I know the rubberized is not always the best, but things have come a long way since they've
Yeah.
began using that material. So maybe we
Okay.
can look at something that's a little better.
Yeah, when we put it out, we will be going out to bid for that, so we'll see what comes in, and we'll take that into consideration when selecting.
Yeah, let's make sure
Machine.
when we put the bid out that we, you know, include that offering and see what we get back on.
Yeah, environmentally friendly, absolutely.
And if you want, even put an extra score on that.
I appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone for good of the order?
I wanted to say, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
And we haven't said it yet, but I wanted to congratulate and recognize our very own Marco Rubio on being sworn in as Secretary, U.S. Secretary of State. Big congratulations to him. We're very, very proud of him. Just wanted to share.
He used to sit right over there.
Yeah, right here.
He used to sit right there. It's amazing. He's definitely accomplished a lot.
I think, yeah, I think to second that, I think it would be hard for anybody in our community, especially with young children, to not, you know, be inspired by what you can do. Seeing as somebody who grew up in this neighborhood, and truly grew up in this neighborhood, right? And see, you know, and it's, I think we take it for granted how far he's gone and what position he's in, because we all know him in varying degrees. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Vice Mayor, and appreciate the call out.
Suggestion.
Go ahead.
I know he's going to be sitting somewhere in Washington D.C. in a very
I imagine he's
fancy
gonna sit somewhere,
office.
yeah.
So why don't we send him a West Miami plaque?
I love that. Yeah.
You know, congratulating him. You know,
Yeah.
something very eloquent and.
We'll make sure to send him something. I think that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that way he
And-
can put it in his office, and when all kinds of dignitaries come in, they'll see what's in
Yeah.
West Miami. You
And
And
we'll have to make sure he displays it prominently.
With a congratulatory letter from.
I'll take care of that.
We can do a letter from all of us to sign it. Yeah.
Anybody else for good of the order? Good of the order? No one for good of the order? Okay, well, I think our next event is the State of the City, which was being planned now, and again, the invites should be going out to the door soon. It's already online, and we hope to see everyone there.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Being adjourned, thank you.